Hi everyone, welcome back to my morning report analysis videos on Wednesday 19th of October with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec Markets. The FX Trade of the Year competition instruments in week 3, Euro Dollar, Dollar CAD, Euro Yen, CAD Yen, Dollar Turkish Lira, DAX, Gold and Wheat. So let's get into this with the Euro. We've seen the Euro dropping away and lower highs, lower lows. It seems to be putting pressure on the 109.50 level, which has been sort of these July lows, and it certainly seems to be sort of moving towards that way. The resistance coming in at 110.50 is the main sort of long-term pivot on this chart, and again that seems to be coming in. Lower high at 110.25, and again 110 big figure coming in as basis of resistance today. So it's sort of dropping away as your resistance comes in. Little rallies are being sold into. I think this could be again putting pressure on 109.50 today. Breakdown would open 109.10. Okay, so let's look at dollar CAD. Sort of consolidating really. It's sort of had been posting a series of negative candles, but today's move seems to be relatively sort of firm to a certain extent, I suppose, mildly higher in the day. Although you'd still argue that there is still a corrective outlook. Momentum indicators all falling away. The RSI at a, what's that, a 5-6 week low. Stochastics agreeing with that outlook as well. I think maybe back towards 1.3 could be seen. I think rallies are going to be seen as a chance to sell, but you've got a lot of volatility you could see on this one today. You've got the Bank of Canada at 3 o'clock. You've got the Fed. Sorry, not the Fed. The presidential debate this evening. So a lot could happen, but certainly around 31.25 there seems to be a basis of resistance. This is an old pivot line. And again, that sort of arguably capped gains yesterday, although mildly higher above that, 31.40. But still, I think rallies seem to be still seen as a chance to sell. Look at these hourly momentum indicators unwinding, so further downside likely. Euro Yen. Just still creeping lower, actually now broken down decisively. 114, I've been talking about that level of support. You've got this downtrend. That again came in as base of resistance yesterday. You had the 114 level, that's been broken. That now opens 112.50. JPY. That opens 112.50 and 112. 112.50 is this reaction low here. 112 figure. These September lows breaking down, looks negatively configured on the RSI and stochastics. I think that is a rallies are a chance to sell. CAD Yen had been running higher. That support at 79.90 is being tested. It's sort of arguably giving way as well. On the hourly chart, you can see that that's an important level. And it's now arguably even broken down and completed a small top pattern. If you see a sort of consistent decisive move below that on the hourly chart, you'd measure downside from 79.60, so it gives you what, 80 ticks. That's back towards 78 area. Again, that's a support band, isn't it? So it's yeah, it's could well see that continued correction may be on the cards on this one, but that's a fairly strong support around 78 figure, and it could well just be sort of retreating back into a support band. But generally speaking, that rally has rolled over a bit and now beginning to put a little bit more pressure on the hourly momentum indicators. Dollar Turkish. Again, a little bit of consolidation. Is it going to be starting to break down? That those negative candles on the hourly chart are beginning to put pressure on that initial support around 308.65 area. If you sort of did break that down, you could well be back at 306.85, which is this support here, this reaction low from the 14th. So it could be a little bit more of a corrective move. It's sort of lost the impetus in this rally. The sort of corrective or neutral to maybe even corrective candles are starting to build up. Those disappointing candles there back from last week are beginning to sort of show through. And again, another failure of the resistance at 311.30. That's 3 times now we've failed at that level. And it seems to be rolling over a bit, so maybe a little bit more corrective. .GDAX-I on the DAX. again, I mean, I've been talking about the fact that we're in a range. We are in a range on the DAX, and we need to break above 60. Sorry, 10,692. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to play that range. Momentum indicators on the daily continue to look range bound, and again today it looks like this is the case. Sort of rolling over, a little bit more corrective. Arguably a corrective signal on the stochastics now. Is that a sell signal on the hourly chart? I'd say coming towards that level. MACD line is about to cross lower. RSI sort of dropping away. It looks as though it sort of is again possibly fading below that 10,692 level. 10,657 clearly the resistance near term now. Gold failed at 1265 yesterday. I say failed, it sort of had an attempt at it a couple of times and just couldn't quite make the breakout. Again, it's had a good go today, just rolled over. It's not yet lost the impetus of that. I think whilst it's sort of trading above 58, 1258 area, 1258, 1256, seems to be a bit of a pivot near term. So once you're trading above that, you could argue the outlook is still fairly positive on the near term outlook. Pressure on 1265. If you see a move above 1265, I think that would create a small base pattern, imply about at least 18 bucks higher. That's 1283. And finally, wheat, which is WZ6 on my chart, or on your MT4 it's W#_Z16. WZ6. It's just rolling over again. I thought this was going to be gaining a bit of momentum to the upside. It seems to be sort of arguably looking a bit more corrective now. I still think 416 to 420 is arguably it's a buy area near term within this consolidation. Is it sort of losing the impetus in this rally though? That is the question. It looked positive, WZ6 looked positive, but it's just arguably rolling over. You've got a nice band of support of 412 though on the breakout of that base. Momentum indicator is still positive on the daily chart, so I'd still say you're sort of still in a positive mindset, but just be careful because it is seem to be rolling over. So I wish you good luck in your trading across those FX Trade of the Year Lucky 8 pairs and instruments, and I will wish you good luck, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.